Hi everybody, Sensei Chris in the Total Urban Combat Dojo. So today what we're going to talk about is our round kick, sometimes called the roundhouse kick. Useful kick. It's probably one of the ones that pretty much everybody does, whether you're trained and skilled or not. Even the Yobo type kick will be very similar or very similar in sort of look to a round kick. So we're going to talk about the dynamic of it, and then we'll talk about using a stepping pattern to practice the kick, and then I'll bring in one of the training punch bags, and we'll show you what the kick looks like and how to deliver it in a number of different ways. So first thing to talk about is the kick itself. You don't have to deliver high. So for the system that I teach, we talk about kicks anywhere from sort of the waistline down. The reality is, if I'm bringing my kick up above the waistline into maybe sort of the rib line, the chest line, that's about sparring and about competition type training. It's really great if you can get your kick high, and you should practice to take your kick high. But from a self-defense point of view, it's risky taking your leg higher than your hip line. So, from self-defense and reality-based sort of street fighting, I think you should be thinking about kicks being something that I deliver from here downwards. Punches are something that I deliver from here upwards. Okay, so an example of that is you wouldn't go down to punch somebody on the knee. Okay, it just doesn't make sense. My arms are up here, I'd punch here. So same thing, why would I bring my foot up to kick you on the shoulder? I wouldn't. Okay, I'd kick you around the leg, the inside of the leg, that sort of thing. Okay, so legs were down, arms were up, nice and simple. So when we deliver the round kick, so I'm going to just tilt the camera slightly. So when we deliver the round kick, okay, we're using the rear leg. Okay, so the leg comes in a circular fashion, okay, this way, and the whole idea is I'm trying to hit him on the side of the leg here. Okay, so as I swing in, I deliver the leg and I bring it back. So if I'm practicing statically and I've got limited space, what I would do is I would keep my hands up, kick, rotate, and come back again. So if you watch this foot on the floor, okay, the front foot, you'll notice that it twists to the side, okay, as I kick. And then twist back when I come back in. That's because as I deliver the kick, my pelvis is turning this way, and as a result, this leg should turn and face that way. Okay, so an example of that would be if I put my kick down or my leg down at the end of the kick, the reality is that's where my stance would be. Okay, what we want to do, obviously, is because we're kicking somebody in front, we need to adjust that stance as we set down, or adjust the stance as we set backwards so that we're still facing forwards. Okay, and an example of that would be kick, draw and step back. See, I'm still facing forwards, or kick, step down and adjust so that I'm facing forwards. Okay, so watch again. Kick, step down, adjust. And all of that's done fairly quickly so that you don't necessarily see all the movements done. It just looks like it happens all in one go. So I want you to try and keep your hands up. I don't want you to bring your hands down as you're kicking. I want you to try and keep your hands up. What you're going to do is you're going to kick, step and straighten, kick, step and straighten. So we're going to do our 5 pattern stepping movement. So that's just 5 steps forwards with a kick, and then we'll turn and do 5 steps back again. And that gives us an opportunity to practice not only the movement, but both legs. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm going to stop at 3, otherwise I'll be out of the shot. And then I'm going to turn, and I do the same thing again. 1, 2, 3, Now, it's also important when we first start this to not go, crazy at it and miss the reset at the end of the movement. So what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to go like that, because A, your balance is all over the place, and B, we're not really focusing on the target or where the individual is. So again, imaginary bad guy in front of you, face the bad guy, kick the bad guy, face the bad guy. Kick the bad guy, face the bad guy. And that way, you always reset your posture so that it's facing forwards. So, 5 times up, 5 times down. When you've got the movement, you should be able to hold it for a while, somewhere in the middle, and that also is going to practice your balance. So a lot of the kicking movements and the striking movements that we do are all about training your body to do things it's not used to do. Okay, so in some instances you will struggle with a kick on one side because you're not used to balancing on the other leg. So an example of that would be lots of people have a really good kick with their right leg, but when they come to do their left leg, okay, their balance isn't so good and they start to sort of wobble and fall over. And that's what the drill's designed to do. It's designed to practice both sides, and it's also designed to give you balance and strength in your lower body. So go practice that, and then we'll have a look at how we hit the kick bag. So here we go. I've got my standing kick bag, okay, on my buddy. Here, holding a shield or holding a strike shield or something like that, something that's comfortable to kick. Okay, if you're only holding a sofa cushion or something like that, then don't go at it like a lunatic. Okay, you can do these movements. Okay, just touching the pad. You don't need to really kick the pad too hard if the person holding it is not skilled at holding a pad, and also if you've not got the correct equipment. So think about what you're doing and always play smart. So when we're in this position, if I've got something that I can really have a go at, what I need to do is warm up slowly, okay? Always remember that I need to turn this foot to position my pelvis in the direction of the kick. So an example of that would be, if this is the thing I'm trying to kick, I need to turn this portion of my body that way. Okay, so an example of that would be, I'm here, turn my pelvis so that now you can see my leg kicks the bag naturally. So how can we kick using this technique? So a lot of the time you'll see in martial arts, from a foot point of view, everybody pulls their toes backwards, and that's because martial artists train with no shoes on. We normally train in bare feet or training type shoes that are very soft. So the last thing you want to do is toe poke into the target, because you're likely to damage your toe, maybe break your toe. So you pull your toes back so that when you kick the pad, okay, you're getting penetration into it, but you're also not going to damage your toes. Now this is something that's done normally in a soft area, so around the sort of tummy area or around the inside aspect or outer aspect of the leg, where it's nice, you've got big muscles, but they're quite soft. So you can get a lot of penetration and a lot of damage. Traditionally, you'll see the kick also done with the instep, okay, and the instep is this portion of your foot, okay, from the top of your foot coming into the lower aspect of your shin, and that's normally the one that most people use. Okay, so we're here, and you can see it strikes into the pad fairly easily, like so. That's also a place that you can use to strike. But another place that's used in several martial arts is the shin area. Now, if you think about it, the toe area is going to be from quite a distance. The instep of the foot and the lower portion of your shin is going to be from maybe sort of 3 feet away. And if I'm into the shin is more likely going to be when the person's very, very close to you. So almost at sort of grabbing distance. So the shin's quite a useful one to use. Okay, and you notice you get a slightly different sound if you hit the pad. You don't get the tap sound. You get more of a muffled sort of sound. That's because more of the leg bone is going into the target. Now, notice the word I used there, the leg bone. So your leg bone ideally doesn't want to hit one of his leg bones. So this movement is done not on something hard to something hard, okay? What you're trying to use is your shin bone, your lower leg bone, against something that's soft on him. So probably the more likely places to kick are, again, round the lower rib line, okay, where the tissue is soft, where the bone is weak. Also, around the outer aspect of the leg, okay, everybody's a bit tender here. Also, the inner part of the leg and the inner part of the lower leg. And that means that you'll get a good result from something that doesn't have to be fantastically fast or hard, okay? This type of kick, okay, doesn't need to be delivered like lightning, okay? If you're in a grappling sort of position and you're here, okay, like that will suffice and normally will take the guy to the ground. So think about where you're hitting, great places, okay, where your hand touches the stripe on your trouser or the crease on your trouser, that's a great place there, okay? Gallbladder 31 for us. Inside aspect of the knee, just above the knee, on the quad muscle, that's a really good, great place to kick as well. You can kick that in and up or in and down. And also on the inside aspect of the lower limb, okay, round our one hand up from the ankle, that's a really useful place to kick as well, spleen 6. Okay, and that will make the person move outwards as well. So think about your kit, okay, so if you've got somebody with a pad, great, you can really swing in, you can put some power in. If you haven't, then what I want you to do is I want you to just practice, again, imaginary buddy, kick and step, or if you wish, you can kick and draw back, kick and draw back, and just practice. Ideally, at least 10 on both sides. Go practice.